The smell of stale plantain and engine fumes clung to our small apartment in Surrey. Another night, another client promising payment next week. My head throbbed. Amaka, my wife, was already asleep, her breathing soft and even beside me. I slipped out of bed, grabbing my wallet from the dresser. That is when I saw it, tucked beneath a pile of old magazines, an envelope. Not just any envelope, but one stuffed with crisp new Naira notes. My heart hammered against my ribs. I pulled it out, my fingers trembling. I counted it quickly. Over N50,000. Where did this come from? We were barely making ends meet. I, Chike, was the man of the house, the provider. This money was not mine. Sleep vanished. I sat on the edge of the bed, the envelope burning in my hand. My mind raced, jumping to conclusions. I hated myself for even thinking. Who gave her this? Why was it hidden? My pride, already bruised by our financial struggles, flared into a painful wound. I thought I knew everything about my wife, Amaka, but this felt like a betrayal. I put the money back, pretending I had not seen it, but my world had already shifted. The next morning, the smell of Akara filled the air. Amaka was in the kitchen, humming. She looked tired, her eyes a little shadowed, but her smile was as warm as ever. "Morning, my love," she said, kissing my cheek. "You slept well?" I forced a smile. "Like a baby." The lie tasted bitter. I watched her, really watched her, for the first time in a long time. Every move, every glance. Was she different? Was I just paranoid? Days turned into a blur of suspicion. Amaka was leaving earlier, coming home later. Her excuses were always vague. Extra work at the office, helping Auntie Ngozi with market run. My graphic design clients were still dragging their feet on payments, and the generator still needed fuel every night. The N5000 kept whispering in my mind. One evening, I asked, casual-like, "Baby, how was work? Anything new?" She just sighed. "Just tired, Chike. Same old, same old." The next day, I had a meeting with a potential client near Iketa City Mall. The Danfo ride from Surulere was a nightmare, as usual, packed like sardines. My mind was not on the client, but on Amaka. As I waited for my bus connection at Ojota, I saw her. Not on a bus, but getting into a yellow taxi, looking very well dressed, in a way she did not dress for her usual office job. And the taxi was heading towards Victoria Island. Victoria Island. The place where the big money moved, where the rich lived and played. My heart sank. My worst fears seemed to confirm themselves. I skipped the client meeting, jumping into another taxi. "Follow that yellow cab," I told the driver, my voice tight. He looked at me funny, but sped off. We weaved through the chaotic Lagos traffic, the honking of horns deafening. My stomach churned. The taxi stopped in front of a fancy restaurant on Victoria Island. Amaka stepped out, her posture elegant. She greeted a man, a well-dressed older man, at the entrance. My blood ran cold. This was it. The cheating. My wife, my Amaka. I felt a searing pain, a mix of anger and absolute devastation. My world was crumbling. I wanted to storm in, scream, make a scene. But something held me back. Maybe I needed more proof. I watched as they entered. Then, a few minutes later, Amaka came back out, but not with the man. She was holding a large insulated bag, the kind used for deliveries. She then got into a Bolt taxi, heading in the opposite direction, away from Surulere. What in God's name was happening? I paid my driver, my head spinning, and followed in another Bolt. The Bolt took us to a bustling street market in Ajah, far from home. The air was thick with the smell of grilling suya, fried yam, and sweat. People shouted, music blared from stalls. My eyes scanned the crowd, and there she was. My elegant wife, Amaka, now in a simple apron, setting up a small food stall. She was arranging plates of steaming jollof rice and fried plantain. The man she would met earlier was her supplier, dropping off ingredients. She was not dining with him. She was working for him. My heart twisted, but not from pain, but from a crushing wave of shame and understanding. I walked towards her slowly, my legs feeling heavy. She looked up, her eyes widening in surprise, then fear. "Check! What did you do here?" she whispered, her voice barely audible over the market noise. Tears welled in her eyes. "Amaka, what is this?" I asked, my voice raw. My chest ached. Not with anger anymore, but with a profound sense of guilt and overwhelming love. The N5000, it was not a betrayal. It was her sacrifice. We sat down at a quiet corner of the market, the vibrant chaos, a backdrop to our hushed conversation. "Chaiki, I am so sorry," she began, her voice trembling. "I saw how much you were struggling. The late payments, the frustration, the way you would look at the bills, I could not stand to see you carry everything alone. I found this opportunity to sell food at night. The money, it was for us, for our rent, for food, for anything we needed. My pride, the very thing that made me suspicious, now felt like a heavy stone in my gut. She had been sacrificing her sleep, her comfort, her peace, all for us. While I wallowed in my own perceived failures, she was out there hustling, doing what needed to be done. My strong, beautiful Amaka. I reached for her hand, tears blurring my vision. "I am the one who should be sorry, Amaka. I doubted you." I let my pride blind me. We went home, the long boat ride back to Surulere filled with a different kind of silence, one of understanding and a renewed bond. That night, lying next to her, I felt a humility I had not known before. I held her close. "No more secrets," I whispered. "Whatever it is, we face it together, always." She squeezed my hand. "Always, my Chaiki." The next morning, I took the N50,000 from the envelope and put it in our joint account. I did not stop her from working, but I started actively helping. I designed a logo for her stall, created flyers, even helped her package food before my own work started. Our struggles did not vanish overnight, but they felt different now. We were a team, truly. My wife's secret sacrifice had humbled me, stripped away my foolish pride, and in its place built a stronger, more honest foundation for our love. We learned that true strength was not in carrying burdens alone, but in sharing them, no matter the cost.